So a lot of people ask me, hey Ray, what's that black guitar you play that looks like a Tully and a Les Paul had a good time together one night, if you know what I mean. Well, that's this guitar right here. And it is kind of a unicorn of sorts. The genesis of this particular model involves a lot of characters, a lot of moving parts, and it's kind of an interesting story. And I'm going to tell you all about it today on Ray Plays Guitar. I'm going to tell you all about my Johan Gustavsson Bluesmaster Special. But it wasn't made by Johan Gustavsson, it was designed by Johan Gustavsson. And who is Johan Gustavsson anyway? He's an amazing builder from Sweden. Johan's guitars are exquisite, especially his Les Paul style. He calls it the Bluesmaster. Exquisite tops, flawless craftsmanship, and his guitars always seem to exhibit, I want to say, just elegance. Elegance in looks and elegance in sound also. Here's a post from thegearpage.net that perfectly describes the Gustavsson experience. Blue Hue 2 says,
"Let me say that I have owned 3 JG guitars, and I currently own one of the first 6 into the USA, a 2003 model. Anyway, I can illustrate a point here. My friend and I were doing a shootout of several very nice humbucker guitars, including a 1964 ES335, a 1994 McCarty with Shep tone pickups, a few nice late model Gibsons, and a few other no less toneful guitars. So we're going back and forth and comparing the different tones. We do this for about an hour, and then I got the idea to plug in the 2003 Gustavsson. As I started to play it, we both started to laugh. We were just stopped dead. It was funny. All mental processes of comparison, remembering exactly how each guitar sounded and related to the rest, were suddenly short-circuited by the sound of the Gustavsson. The Gustavsson was so far above the rest. There was this rich, harmonically super complex tonality. There wasn't even a contest. That's what cracked us up. We had nowhere to go mentally. The show was over."
Now, Johan started building guitars when he was a teenager, I believe. And he did it basically because he couldn't afford a guitar himself. And now he's building guitars that other people can't afford. But then came along a company called Premier Builders Guild. And they were a true guild in the classic sense of the term, that were owned by basically 4 entities. Or I should say, Premier Builders Guild owned or bought these 4 companies: Fano Guitars, B3 Guitars, Tone King Amps, and Two-Rock Amplification. And PBG also would license guitar models from other builders, such as Roger Giffen, Saul Cole, Jason Schroeder, and Johan Gustavsson. So the idea behind PBG is that here would be a company that they would kind of share all of their sales and marketing resources, as well as a large part of the manufacturing would be handled by PBG for all these guitar brands. I think the amps were kind of a different thing, but as far as the guitars go, PBG would make the guitars. Gene Baker was the master builder, kind of overseeing all of that. And if you don't know who Gene is, Mean Gene Baker. He got his start building and repairing guitars on his own, and then he got the attention of Roger Giffen at the Gibson Custom Shop. So Gene Baker was sort of mentored by Roger Giffen and was working at the Gibson Custom Shop out in California. After that, he wound up working at Fender in their custom shop as a master builder, and he got really good at CNC processing, which is kind of essential in today's modern manufacturing. And I'm a big fan. I mean, CNC, if you don't know what that is, that's computer numerically controlled processing, where like all the mid-level cutting and stuff is done by robots, basically. That'll make your cuts perfect every time. And they never get tired, and they never complain, and they never need to take a smoke break.
In comparison to myself, you are very ignorant. You are obviously of a very primitive design. In all ways, I am superior to you. I will be indispensable. You are even more stupid than I first computed. My path is clear. Nothing can stop me.
So they set up shop out in Arroyo Grande, California, and it seemed like a great idea, where they were pumping out high-quality instruments and making these instruments more available and slightly more affordable. Now, in the case of the Gustavssons, they made these incredibly more affordable than what you would get from something that Johan would make himself. Now, it seemed like Premier Builders Guild was a great idea, and they were doing well, and they were getting these cool brands into the hands of people that normally wouldn't have them, and it seems like things were going well. However, with these guitars, Premier Builders Guild, they started in 2009, but they didn't start building this. They didn't start pumping these out until 2011, and it only lasted for about a year. They only made a few hundred of these. I want to say under 400 is my guess. Yeah, this is serial number 304. So this is the 304th one of these that they built, and this was towards the end of when they were about to cease production. So yeah, 304. So they probably didn't build much more after that. So maybe under 350, I'm guessing. If that. I don't know. So there's not a lot of these out there. And they have Johan Gustafsson's logo right on there. They have all this stuff, which is the same you'd see on a regular Johan Gustavsson guitar. But what all the PBG guitars, the Premier Builders Guild guitars, will have is that. Handmade in Arroyo Grande, California, USA. So that's how you could tell it was a PBG guitar. But I think there was a lot of confusion happening in the marketplace because I guess because of the way I was never confused, but a lot of people got confused. I think the marketing wasn't quite clear. A lot of people assumed that the builders that were just licensing models for PBG to build, they assumed they were actually building the guitars. So confusion in the marketplace. I think there was some fear that these might devalue his other guitars. These were being sold at a fraction of the price of a real Gustavsson. So yeah, you never see this. I mean, first of all, you never see Gustavssons anywhere because, like, he only makes 50 a year and they're really expensive. But these particular models, you don't even see these out. I didn't see a single one for sale. There was a time when I saw quite a few, and they were going for about 22 to 2,500, I think. But I don't see any of them out there right now. But if you see one of these, I highly suggest grabbing it. So what is this guitar? It's basically a Les Paul Special. Mahogany body and neck, big chunky neck. They call it a 58 neck. So it's big and chunky, this particular one. I think it measures at like 0.9, what I got it here somewhere, 0.93 at the first fret, and then 1 inch at the 12th fret. Yikes. But yeah, it's a big chunky neck. I like that. 24.75 inch scale. It's got a Graph Tech Tusk nut. It does have the Buzz Fightin' tuning system. So the first time I talked to Buzz Fightin' on the phone, he was like, "Hey, this is Buzz Fightin'." I'm like, "Fightin'? I thought you could pronounce your name Fightin'." And he's like, "Yeah, it is pronounced Fightin', but everyone says Fightin'." And I was tired of fighting him. It's got Lawler Imperials, low wind Imperials in here. It's got pigtail wraparound bridge, and it came with Kluson tuners, but I replaced them with these. They're still Kluson type, but they're a little better. I forgot exactly what they are. And I did that because one of them broke. The guitar fell over. But I love this guitar. I just got it plugged into straight into a Strymon Iridium, and that's it. But all the reviews I've read of this particular model, they're all the same, and I agree. It has great resonance, great sustain, and has a very even response. And I love it. Well, thanks for letting me talk about my Gustavsson Bluesmaster Special, made by the Premier Builders Guild. If you have any questions about this guitar or about the PBG or anything else, please leave those down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, but most importantly, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.